To understand the heart-wrenching reality in Ukraine's war zones, we must first look at the history of the conflict. The roots of this turmoil trace back to the early 1990s, following the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Ukraine declared independence in 1991, but the path to sovereignty was fraught with challenges. Political instability, economic struggles, and deep-seated divisions between pro-European and pro-Russian factions set the stage for conflict. In 2014, the situation escalated dramatically with Russia's annexation of Crimea. This move was met with international condemnation and sparked a series of violent clashes in eastern Ukraine. The Donbas region became a focal point of the conflict, with separatist movements backed by Russia fighting against Ukrainian forces. The war has since claimed thousands of lives and displaced millions. Despite numerous attempts at peace talks and ceasefire agreements, the conflict remains unresolved. The struggle for control and influence continues to fuel the violence. This is the backdrop against which the current humanitarian crisis unfolds. Understanding the history helps us grasp the depth of the suffering and the complexity of the situation. This is their story. A story of resilience, of enduring spirit, and of the unyielding will to survive against all odds. Look at these images. Each frame tells a tale of loss and devastation. Homes, schools, playgrounds, gone. These were once places of laughter and learning, now reduced to mere memories. Amidst the chaos and destruction, it is the children who suffer the most. Their laughter replaced by cries, their playgrounds turned into battlegrounds. These young souls are forced to grow up too quickly, exposed to the horrors of war. They face not only physical dangers, but also the psychological scars that may never heal. Education, a fundamental right, becomes a distant dream for many. Schools are often damaged or destroyed, and the constant threat of violence makes attending classes a perilous endeavor. Teachers and parents strive to provide some semblance of normalcy, but the war's shadow looms large over their efforts. For the children of Ukraine, the future is uncertain. The trauma they endure today will shape their tomorrow. Yet amidst the ruins, there are glimpses of hope. Humanitarian organizations work tirelessly to provide support, offering safe spaces, education, and psychological help. The resilience of these children is remarkable. Despite the odds, they dream of a peaceful future where they can play, learn, and grow without fear. Their courage and strength are a testament to the human spirit's enduring power. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the origins of this conflict and its far-reaching consequences. Together, we can raise awareness and support these vulnerable lives. The road to conflict begins now. As the conflict in Ukraine rages on, nations around the world have stepped up to offer support and solidarity. This global response has been multifaceted, encompassing humanitarian aid, military assistance, and diplomatic efforts. Countries like the United States, Canada, and members of the European Union have provided billions in aid to support Ukraine's defense and humanitarian needs. This aid includes medical supplies, food, and shelter, helping to alleviate the suffering of displaced families and those on the front lines. Military support has also been substantial, with nations supplying defensive equipment, training, and intelligence to bolster Ukraine's resistance. In addition to direct aid, international organizations such as the United Nations and the Red Cross are actively working on the ground, providing essential services and advocating for peace. These efforts are crucial in mitigating the humanitarian crisis and ensuring that aid reaches those who need it most. Diplomatically, countries around the globe have imposed sanctions on Russia, aiming to pressure the aggressor to cease hostilities and engage in meaningful dialogue. These economic measures, combined with international condemnation, underscore the global community's commitment to upholding Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The solidarity shown by the global community highlights a collective stand against aggression and a commitment to peace and human rights. While the path to resolution is fraught with challenges, the unwavering support for Ukraine offers a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the complexities of this conflict and its broader implications. Together we can make a difference. To understand the current crisis, we must travel back in time. Let's rewind the clock to the early 1990s when Ukraine declared its independence from the Soviet Union. This was a time of hope and new beginnings, but the seeds of conflict were already being sown. In 2014, the situation escalated. A wave of protests, known as the Euromaidan, swept across Ukraine. These protests were sparked by the government's decision to abandon an agreement with the European Union in favor of closer ties with Russia. The movement culminated in the ousting of the then-President Viktor Yanukovych. But this was just the beginning. Russia's annexation of Crimea in March 2014 marked a significant turning point. The world watched as tensions escalated, leading to the outbreak of armed conflict in eastern Ukraine. Pro-Russian separatists, supported by Russia, took control of parts of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. The war in Donbas had begun. Years of sporadic fighting followed, with ceasefires frequently broken. Thousands of lives were lost and many more were displaced. The Minsk agreements were attempts at peace, but stability remained elusive. Fast forward to 2022. Russian forces launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, further intensifying the conflict. Cities were bombarded and millions of Ukrainians were forced to flee their homes. The world stood in shock and solidarity, witnessing the resilience of the Ukrainian people. Understanding this history is crucial. It provides context to the heart-wrenching reality we see today, a conflict with deep roots and profound consequences. As we reflect on the past, we must also look forward, working together to support those affected and striving for a peaceful resolution. Your engagement can amplify the message and bring more support to those in need. Please share this video to raise awareness and subscribe to our channel for more updates. As we delve deeper into the history, it's essential to highlight the key events that further escalated the conflict and brought global attention to Ukraine's plight. The year 2014 marked not just the annexation of Crimea, but also the beginning of a covert war in eastern Ukraine. The downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 in July 2014 was a tragic turning point. The plane was shot down over eastern Ukraine, killing all 298 passengers on board. This catastrophe brought international condemnation and highlighted the severe implications of the ongoing conflict. In the years that followed, the war in Donbas continued to simmer, with sporadic outbreaks of violence and failed ceasefires. The international community imposed sanctions on Russia, aiming to pressure it into withdrawing support for the separatists. However, these efforts met with limited success. The election of Volodymyr Zelensky as Ukraine's president in 2019 brought a new wave of hope. A former comedian with no prior political experience, Zelensky promised to bring peace to the war-torn regions. Yet the challenges were immense, and the geopolitical landscape remained fraught with tension. In 2021, a significant buildup of Russian troops along the Ukrainian border signaled a new phase of the conflict. The world watched with bated breath as diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation seemed to falter. By early 2022, the situation had reached a boiling point. On February 24, 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, marking the largest military assault in Europe since World War II. Major cities including Kiev, Kharkiv and Mariupol came under relentless attack. The international community responded with unprecedented sanctions and military aid to Ukraine. The conflict has had far-reaching consequences, impacting global politics, economy and security. Energy prices soared, refugee crises emerged, and the world grappled with the humanitarian fallout. Yet, amid the chaos, the resilience of the Ukrainian people has shone through. Stories of bravery, solidarity and resistance have inspired the world. The fight for freedom and sovereignty continues, with Ukraine at the heart of a struggle that resonates far beyond its borders. As we navigate this complex history, it's crucial to stay informed and engaged. The path to peace is uncertain, but collective awareness and action can pave the way for a brighter future. Together, we can amplify the voices of those affected and support the quest for peace and justice. As we transition from the historical overview to the present day, it's essential to understand the current state of the conflict in Ukraine. The war, which began in 2014, has evolved into a complex and multifaceted crisis with no clear end in sight. In recent months, the situation has remained tense and volatile. Despite numerous ceasefire agreements, fighting continues in various regions, causing further casualties and displacement. The humanitarian crisis has deepened, with millions of Ukrainians facing dire conditions. Access to basic necessities such as food, water, and medical care remains a significant challenge in many areas. The international community continues to play a critical role in addressing the conflict. Humanitarian aid flows into Ukraine, aiming to alleviate the suffering of those caught in the crossfire. Diplomatic efforts persist, with leaders from around the world striving to broker peace and stability. Ukraine's government, under the leadership of President Zelensky, remains resolute in its pursuit of sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Ukrainian armed forces, bolstered by international support, continue to defend their nation with unwavering determination. However, the geopolitical landscape remains fraught with tension. The conflict has strained relations between Russia and the West, with ongoing debates about sanctions, military aid, and diplomatic strategies. The ripple effects of the war have impacted global politics, economies, and security, creating a complex web of challenges that the world must navigate. Amid the turmoil, the spirit of the Ukrainian people stands as a beacon of hope. Stories of resilience and solidarity continue to emerge, inspiring the global community. The fight for freedom and justice remains at the forefront of Ukraine's struggle, reminding us all of the importance of standing up for human rights and sovereignty. As we conclude this historical overview, it's crucial to stay informed and engaged. The path to peace may be uncertain, but collective awareness and action can pave the way for a brighter future. By staying connected, sharing information, and supporting humanitarian efforts, we can make a difference. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on this evolving story. Together, we can amplify the voices of those affected and support the quest for peace and justice.